This narrative video on transformative leadership mainly revolves around literature that presents an alternative view from popular, masculine or mainstream view on leadership to that of critical view. Evidence-based literature is meticulously selected from dedicated scholars about educational leadership discourse. My identified transformative leader, CK, is not only a doyen of IB curriculum. She's a woman with rare qualities, talents of having been able to balance her employer's high expectations of the promotion of academic excellence with service to the community, thus deserving a title to be called an agent of social justice. She holds a master's degree in curriculum studies from Michigan State University. In international schools, CK journey began in 1983 in Port Moresby International School in Papua New Guinea, where she taught literature and became head of one of the 4 houses of the school population. Her interest has always been service, and so in Hong Kong International School from 1986 to 1990, she taught literature and headed the school's community service committee. In Switzerland, she taught at the university and also did some community service work. From the year 2005 to 2007 in Suva, Fiji, she was the head of English as well as Creativity Action Service Coordinator and College Counselor. And that's where she began her service to the community, as you shall hear later when she speaks more passionately about the intervention that she did in that part of the world. Traveling over Asia in this capacity, she learned about styles of leadership in international schools of all kinds. In the year 2015, she became an IB lead educator training officer, training others to evaluate schools and to be consultants. It is in this platform where she cut her teeth as a leader that prompted the present employer, NBHIS, to offer her the role of principal. She then moved to NBHIS in 2015, where she is still serving as a principal. She exudes with passion as she relates how she accepted the offer because she wanted to change the face of private international schools from that of focusing only on profit making to that of promoting social justice. Good afternoon, Ms. Cheryl. I really appreciate the time that you took out of your busy schedule to do this interview. I have identified you as a transformative leader. Let me first give you some guidelines as to how the interview is going to be unfold. Our interview is basically centering around Paulo Freire's dialogical tenets that I will explain in more finer details as the interview unfolds. I would also like to know more about how you utilize your transformative leadership skills to juggle between your academic improvement mandate here at the private school with what is happening in the community. More about social interventions. So, in a nutshell, we will touch base on your insights about social justice. So tell me, what are the attributes of a transformative leader?
A leader must like and trust their staff. If they don't, they can't go anywhere, right? So you genuinely have to believe that people are good. And then if they prove themselves disappointing, that's another thing. But you need to start there.
What are your views on the discourse that says schools need to address and promote the interests of those that have been marginalized, for example, by race, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, and women in particular?
In education, women are pretty equal. I mean, all my life, I've been paid equally and treated equally. So, to be honest, I never think about male, female. I just think about the best person for the job. If it needed a balance, right? If there were a bunch of men in one position and I could employ a woman or a man and they were the same level, then I would employ the woman because it's balanced. But same with the man.
What is one key intervention that you have implemented as a transformative leader?
I think it would be at the school in Fiji. At the school in Fiji, I went in as head of English and CAS and college counsellor. And it was a little international school and a lot of local kids, government employees and ambassadors' kids and so on. When I went in, the previous head of school had really not valued the Fijian teachers and students, but teachers, So the Fijian teachers felt that they were second-class citizens, but in fact they weren't. And this is not respectful, and you start with respect and then you move on. Disrespect them, it's shameful for them, So another thing was, because we did a lot of work out in the community there, it's a poor community, we had to make sure that the Fijian kids said to the foreign kids, when you go into this community, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. This is who you talk to, this is who you don't talk to. And so when we left, the feeling was that we respected the people who were there and we lifted them up, And it was a small thing, like little bits here and there, but I think it gave me the best feeling I've had.
Awesome.
I was so proud.
Describe for me the role of love, humility, faith, hope, critical thinking, and solidarity in contributing towards successful transformative leadership.
Humility is necessary everywhere. If you don't have humility, you never listen to people, and it's hard to care about them. A leader is at the top of a pyramid, but everyone's standing on someone else's shoulders. So you have to understand that and be humble and realize that your position depends on so many other people. Yes, you depend on yourself, but really that's a small part of it. It's a group mentality thing.
Oh, yes. And what about critical thinking?
And faith and
touched
hope.
a bit on solidarity.
Talking about faith, non-religious faith, but just faith, is something that makes a leader. If people have faith in their leaders, it means they trust them. If the leaders have faith in their staff, it means they trust them. And the second one is most important, because if you don't believe people are good and are doing a good job and want to improve, I don't think you should be a leader. I think you have to have faith in your people.
Elaborate more on hope, please.
Hope is a little bit different. Hope is stronger in the sense that hope means real belief in improvement and real belief that things will get better in bad times. And so it's challenged all the time. When difficult times come, hope is challenged, and so the leaders are the ones that need to say to people, we can fix this or improve this, or let's look for solutions. You can't just say, oh, this is terrible. Because then without hope, other people will say, oh my God, leaders think it's terrible, it must be terrible.